Hi, welcome to 3ABN Today. My name is Curtis Eakins, and this is my beautiful bride, Paula Eakins.
Okay, that's real good because I was kind of wondering for a while there whether I was going to be saying my name or whether you were going to say my name.
I'll say your name this time. The next time you can say your own name.
Very good, very
Very
good.
good.
Well, we're excited because today we're doing a special holiday, which is Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
we're going to do the foods that we would do on our regular Thanksgiving day when we have our family and friends over, all right?
Thanksgiving with the Eakins.
Thanksgiving with the Eakins.
Sounds good, honey.
Let's look at the actual foods we're going to prepare.
All right.
We're going to do a holiday wild rice ring.
Oh, excellent.
And with that one, Curtis, we're actually going to be doing also pepper steak.
Oh, pepper steak.
And when we finish with that one, Curtis, we're going to go to our sweet potato pudding. That's a
I
favorite
love
for
sweet potato pudding,
Thanksgiving.
honey.
Yes,
That's
indeedy.
right.
And then we're going to do a southern collard green.
Southern collard greens.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to end with our chiffon pumpkin cheesecake.
Okay.
Right in time for Thanksgiving.
This is Thanksgiving with the Eakins. That means people will come by our house, or
People come over to the house, people bring things themselves, but the bottom line is that it is Thanksgiving and we are cooking.
we're cooking, and the kitchen's open.
Well, I think about Thanksgiving and things to be thankful for.
Okay.
And there's so much to be thankful for, you know. And I thought about the fact that, you know, when we are doing at Thanksgiving, we're collecting up the foods because people always say things like, I don't know what to do for Thanksgiving. You know, I'm trying to do this vegetarian thing and I'm trying to get rid of all the things that I know that are unhealthy for me, but can I really fix food for the holidays that can match the same foods that I grew up with when I was growing up, or actually went out to eat at someone's house or wherever I went? And so, yeah, today we can actually do that.
Okay, and that's a challenge for a lot of people. I remember our pastor, Pastor Snell, senior pastor, he mentioned to the church, why not have a vegetarian Thanksgiving meal? Remember that, honey?
Yeah. Vegetarian, vegetarian.
But people moving that way, but may not know how to put the foods together, a traditional Thanksgiving meal, but without the meat or beef or whatever.
Well, I like what you said when you said the word tradition, because we actually have traditions that we grow up with. You know, there are certain things when the holidays come around, you always remember. You know, like for us, sweet potato pie and collard greens and or candied yams, you know, and always going to be some kind of a cake and some kind of a meat dish. And I
cranberry
remember,
sauce.
And don't forget the cranberry sauce.
Can't forget that.
You know, and always, there's always going to be a turkey on the table, okay? And so with that in mind, you know, no turkey, you're not going to have no turkey, or you're not going to have no ham. No, that's not going to be available. But we have food that is just as gorgeous, as delicious, as nutritious as the foods that people are used to for the holidays.
It has a good mouthfeel, and the taste, the texture is there. So again, if you have that mouthfeel, the taste and texture is there, you're not going to miss it.
No. As a matter of fact, one of our very first recipes that we're going to be doing is actually a holiday wild rice ring. And so let's look at the actual ingredients.
Okay.
It calls for 1 16-ounce package of wild rice blend, or 1 teaspoon of onion powder, or 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Now, this holiday wild rice ring.
Say that 3 times real fast.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, rice is one of the favorites, of course, for the holidays, you know, or mashed potatoes as well. So we're going to do rice. But this one is a holiday. This is actually a wild rice blend. And they're out there.
Now, what's the difference? Because the holiday has something special.
Yes.
So I see different colors and hues and wild rice. What's the difference between that and whole grain?
Because it is actually a holiday, then we're going to use a wild rice. Normally, I can make this up in a brown rice, or I might make a Spanish rice or something else that I will do with it. But because of the holidays, we're using this wild rice blend. And I actually found one that's really good.
Oh, right here, yes.
That I was looking for. And I wanted one that did not have any extra stuff in it, because some of your wild rices out there have a lot of sodium in it. There are wild rice blends that's got a lot of fat in it. But this particular one I like because it's actually a company that makes this up. And it's actually all the different kinds of rices, wild rice, brown rice, all of those are in there. So you can see how pretty and colorful the actual rice itself is. And I have it in here because I actually made it in my rice cooker.
So the same way you will cook regular brown rice,
you follow your instruction. Just follow the instruction on the package, okay? And this has about 16 ounces, so it makes about close to 4.5 cups of rice.
Now, you don't have to get this at a health food store, did you?
No, believe it or not, I got that at the regular store, because that's going on now, too. A lot of your stuff is at the regular grocery store. And so with that in mind, let's go ahead on and put this in our bowl.
Okay, so it's already been cooked.
It's already been cooked.
Okay.
In the rice cooker. And you can cook it, you can do it in your regular rice.
Now, that's the rice cooker that I purchased for you on the anniversary, wasn't it?
No, you purchased a bread machine. For
Oh, bread machine.
Anniversary. This one is the rice cooker, and I
Didn't
like it because...
Didn't I purchase you a rice cooker too?
No, you didn't do the rice cooker.
You bought that yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I should
Okay.
have, though.
Well, that's okay. I used your money to buy it.
No, it was you. It was our money.
Okay, our money. or used money.
You all's money.
So I like that because look at those different, look at the beautiful
Yes,
colors
very
and stuff
colorful.
in there.
Very
I really like
festive
that
for the holidays.
Because it has a different coloring, and like I said, it's got whole grain rice, it's got the brown rice, it's got the red rice, it's got the wild rice seeds, all that's a part of this.
Yes,
and so
okay.
all we did was put it in a rice cooker, make it up. If you're going to do it in a package, then make sure that you just follow the instructions of what it
Okay.
actually says. And then all we're adding to this, Curtis, believe it or not, is just go ahead on. We're going to put in the onion powder, the garlic powder, and we're also going to put in the salt. Okay?
Okay, you want me to do that right now?
Go ahead and put that in.
Okay.
Onion powder,
Okay.
garlic powder.
That's not coming out too good.
Oh, you know, okay, let's just go ahead and get a spoon. Here we go.
Okay, there you go. Excellent.
All right. Because sometimes it just gets stuck there a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, you got that?
That's onion powder, garlic powder, and a little sea salt.
Sea salt. Okay.
Not garlic salt or onion salt.
No, and you know we don't use the onion salt and the garlic salt.
Nothing more than salted onion and salted
There
garlic.
you go, there you go.
I
So
learned that from
want-
you, honey.
Now, I like this one here also because, believe it or not, I know you're probably saying, well, what is this? Now, we said we're going to do a wild
Okay.
rice ring, okay? Holiday wild rice ring. So, you know, back in the day, they used to have these Jell-O molds, you know, where you could put things in.
Now, back in the day, for those who may not know that type of language, that means some time ago.
Some time
Back in the-
ago.
Now, you may continue talking.
No, I can. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So, so what happened was back in the day, we used to actually have these Jell-O molds, and you can use any kind of mold. You can use a Jell-O mold. You can use a an actual pan, a loaf pan, but you want to make the rice different from what you're used to doing on your normal days. Okay, so because of that, I have my rice.
Okay.
I
Now,
have my
you've had
mold
that
here
for
forever,
many years.
Forever, and all I'm going to do is start putting in the rice.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Now, I see that you have this grease a little bit.
I spray it first.
Oh, you spray with,
I spray it
some kind
first.
of a
Just a regular cooking spray, any
cooking spray.
Mhm.
All right.
And I'm gonna put that in there. But you know what, Curtis? I was thinking that as I'm putting this together, I was thinking about things to be thankful for. Now, you, this year, did something really special.
I
And
did
that
something
is
really special?
When we've been having these container gardens where I've been
Oh,
putting in,
okay.
you know, all my stuff. You know, I had a pot, and I had carrots and beets and all that kind of stuff. You
In
know,
pots first?
In these, yeah, they were like
Yeah.
these kind of containers. They were just, you know, and I was using that for a while, but then I got more adventurous and wanted something a little bit bigger. And tell them about what you did for me.
Well, what I did for you, I built my wife a container garden off the ground. We have a lot of rabbits in our backyard, and so we put them on sawhorses. So our container garden is at waist high. No back aches, no weeds, no rabbits eating our foods. And my mom always say that, you know, you have a garden on the ground, always have to have at least more than enough, so you have to feed the animals and feed yourself too. But this way, it's right on the sawhorses, so it's very efficacious. It's 8 foot by 4 feet. And so we have a lot of things like carrots and string beans, peppers.
You remember them all.
I know I got the marigolds for the color. What else do we have, honey?
We had carrots, onions,
Beets.
bell peppers, beets, cabbage, broccoli.
That's right.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
You said
okay.
green beans already.
Yeah.
Oh, and then don't forget the herbs. I had cilantro, oregano, and one of my favorite, basil.
That's right,
And this
yeah.
is the first time I've been able to grow basil. I mean, my herbs were the ones that I was having the
Oh,
hardest time with.
cherry
you know.
tomatoes.
Oh, don't forget. Oh, I can't forget that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cherry tomato and the beefsteak tomatoes as well. Okay. Now, what I did was I put the rice in, and then
Okay.
what I want to do is I want to take and pat it down.
Pat it down,
I want to
okay.
pat it down, okay? Because we're going to actually make this rice ring up, and that's what's going to actually be what we're going to be using, because we want the rice to be different from the rice we usually use, because it's the holidays after all, okay?
It's festive. It's special.
It's special.
Okay.
So I'm
You're
gonna-
special too.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
We're going to keep on bringing this around,
Okay.
around, and around, and then I just take and mash it so that it sits in the mold because it's going to create its own mold itself, okay?
Now, this goes in the refrigerator?
I let it cool down, and I make sure, you know, as I'm pushing it around here, I'm going to make sure
Okay.
that it's all the way in the bottom as well. And you
Oh,
see
I
it's down
see.
the bottom there?
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to push this all the way down because you want to make sure that the rice is all the way in the different grooves in the actual mold itself, okay? And then I'm just going to put my top on. I grease my top as well. I'm going to put my top on it, okay? And then I let it cool. And once I let it cool,
You need
I put
bucket?
it. No, well, you can do. I mean, you don't have to. You can do that.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay.
We let it cool, and then we put it in the refrigerator. Now, I like this because we're talking about the holidays, and you know when it comes to holidays, you get real stressed out. So how can we do things that's easier and quicker on ourselves? And so something like the rice mold, you can actually make a couple days in advance and then put it in the refrigerator. And when it's almost time to serve it, what I do is I put a pot of hot water on the stove and let that water come to a boil, and then I turn it off. And I actually just sit the mold right down in the water. And guess what? It heats the mold up. All right? I like that idea.
just
And then you're
flip
going to
it.
invert it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the program, you're going to get a chance to see what happens when we take and flip it over on the other side and see the mold, the rice mold, actually come out. Very, very beautiful,
Oh, okay.
attractive, something very, very nice. We had a program once. Matter of fact, we were having people over to our house for dinner, and I decided to do the rice mold. And guess what?
yeah.
They came to the table, and I had the rice mold sitting out there, and they said, well, what is that? You know, they thought it was a dessert. I said, no, it's a rice mold. It's a rice mold. They said, I never seen rice that way.
How'd you get it that
so,
way?
you know,
Yeah.
how'd you get it that way? You know, using this, like I said, or you can use a loaf pan or any kind of mold you have at the house. Just try something different from what you're used to because, after all, it is the holidays, and you want to do something different.
And cooking with the Eakins.
Cooking with those Eakins. And speaking of that, let's go to the one that's going to actually match up with this one, and that is going to be our pepper steak.
Oh, that goes inside. Okay.
Yeah. It calls for 1 carton of mock burger patties cut into strips, and 1 medium green pepper seeded, cut into strips, 1 medium onion cut into strips, 2 garlic cloves minced, 1 tablespoon of beef-style seasoning, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 cup of cold water. And then 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Now, this is a real easy recipe, and it's another one that's kind of neat because people are used to eating steak.
Steak.
All right, for the holidays. And so we're going to make a mock steak.
I
all
noticed
right?
the steak
mock,
was in
mock
quotations.
pepper steak, right.
Mock pepper
So for this
steak.
one, and I believe it or not, Curtis, also on the market right now, there are a lot of different types of frozen meat substitutes, all
Right,
right?
meatless
and
burgers.
these meat substitutes are coming out, and I like them better than the canned stuff because the sodium level is really low, very,
That's
very
true.
low, because they don't have to worry about that staying for a long period of time. It's in the freezer.
Okay.
And then they've got soy, they've got gluten, they've got a combination, but the patties are getting better and better and
Yeah,
better. And
they
so
are.
for this one, I'm going to be actually using, this is a frozen patty. I'm going to put my oil in my pan, and why don't you go ahead and start cutting up the things that go in that green pepper.
Okay, we got
green pepper, you got
green.
the onion, and that red pepper, because you know we're talking about cooking for the holidays, so we want to bring all them peppers on in there.
You want
now.
these diced or strips? Or
Just
how-
strips.
or
and
strips,
yes.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to put that in. And once this gets warm enough, hot enough there, I'm going to actually take and put in the actual burgers. And these, like I said, again, these are frozen burgers, They don't take a long time to get done because they're basically already cooked, all right?
I noticed a lot of these burgers are now, most of them now, the major grocery stores.
They're all in your major grocery
Yes.
stores, yes. And this is a real good time. I always say that, you know, sometimes it's just a good time to actually be trying to change your eating habits out. There's so much around available to us, and it's just a matter of looking around. And once again, because it's coming toward the holidays and at Thanksgiving time, you want to don't wait till the last minute looking for it, because guess what? There are other people who have the same idea that you have. So I always go out and go shopping a couple weeks before the time for the holidays so I can make sure that I have everything that I need. And then know also, if I can't find it, to either ask the grocer if they're going to get it in, or I will actually look for a substitute. So for this one here, we want something that looks like, acts like, tastes like some type of a steak or a ground beef type of texture in the mouth. And so this is going to go in that rice ring, remember now. So we want to make sure that we have something that can match that very, very well. So you know our pepper steak always has the bell peppers and the onions. No, I like them long, just like that. And then you're going to go ahead and do that onion for me as well. Because this also has a gravy, Curtis, that goes with it.
Oh,
so I'm going to go ahead on and get ready to make that gravy as well. Let's go ahead and turn that on.
I think, honey, a lot of people think it's a little bit more challenging to cook this way during the holiday season.
They think it's more challenging,
Right.
and it's just a matter of, once again, it's what you're used to, and then on top of that, being prepared, just getting ready. I love it when people come over for the dinner, they're thinking in their mind, are they going to give us just some Brussels sprouts and cauliflower and carrots, and not that they're not all good, they are, but they don't want that for Thanksgiving. So we're going to find a way to fix something that they will really enjoy. Now this particular one I like because I'm going to actually make the gravy up that goes with this. And this gravy is very simple and easy to make. It's a brown gravy. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually put in my water first. This is my cup of water. And then I'm going to put in cold starch. And remember now, in order to use a cold starch, you got to use cold water. Otherwise, you'll have a lot of lumps. And you certainly don't want to have that when it comes to the holidays and you're doing your gravy, okay? And then I'm going to add to that my chicken. I'm going to say beef style seasoning. That's going to go in.
Now, you probably need to explain that, honey.
Now, the beef style seasoning is actually a modified. It's not real beef at all. It's just something that tastes like, it looks like beef seasoning. I'm going to put my onion powder in.
They also have a chicken style seasoning.
And they have a chicken also. That's why I said chicken at first.
Right.
And then we're going to be using also the garlic powder. I used to do this a different way, but I find this is so much easier to go this way here. All right? So I've got that going. You got that happening there.
Going.
I'm going to turn my flame on because we're going to make this gravy up. I have the right one here. There we go. And you're going to make sure that you stir this. So we're going to go ahead and put the gravy in.
Now that's going to go over the pepper steak. All right.
Okay. And let's move that down the way there. And that's going to go ahead and start cooking. I'm going to turn my burgers over. Now, the other thing I like is also, you'll notice, Curtis, the new burgers on the market also, they don't take long to cook.
Yeah. That's true.
This particular one I like because it actually makes its own kind of a juice, and it continues to cook in that way.
Fire up?
And I'm going to turn up just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Oh, it was up.
I didn't hear the sizzle.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what happened? You know what happened? I turned it off.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
You
stop
hear
hearing
that
the sizzle. You stop hearing the sizzle.
Something was going on.
Now, for this one, you're going to have to continue to stir, okay? Because you're trying to make this gravy. And this gravy is going to get thicker and thicker, okay? And that's what we're going to be using in the actual product itself.
Now, this steak now, it's going to go where? I mean, with the rice?
What's going to happen is you can, now, if you're having a party, if you've got people coming over, you're going to have to make more than 4 of them, of course. I'm just doing that so you can see it. But I usually make about 8 or even 12 of these up because I want to make quite a bit of this pepper steak, not only to go in a rice ring, but also to have on the side in case somebody just wants to go ahead and use the extra to put on in there. So why don't you go ahead and turn that for me one more time, Curtis, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to just move those to the side, and we're going to go ahead on and put in the other stuff here. Turn it over very carefully.
Very carefully. I see you're backing up a little bit, honey.
Yes. All right, and let's move that down. Let's go ahead on and turn this down a little bit.
Okay.
Calm it down. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, let's make sure I have this one. There we go. All right, now let's go ahead on and move those down because actually they're finished.
Oh, they
okay,
are?
no, they're finished.
Okay.
They're finished. Let's go ahead on and put in now. I'm going to move these to the side. Let's go ahead and put in the onions.
All of these are going in?
And the peppers.
All at
that's
the
gonna
same
go in.
time?
Yes. Go ahead and put those in.
Okay.
This is
Now
also
becoming very colorful.
Very pretty dish. Very pretty dish. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead on and put the lid on this as I finish making up the gravy. That's going to go there. We got to make sure that's down low enough, and it is. Down low enough. I keep on doing the different one there. There you go. So just make it low enough. And then we're going to continue to make the gravy up. And this is the gravy that's going to go on top of it.
It's now thickening.
It's getting thick. And if it gets too thick, you can add more water to it. If you want it, don't want it quite as thick, you know, you can add more water. And why don't we, okay, let's just go ahead and stir it for a few minutes here, because you want to make sure you stir it, because otherwise it will stick to the bottom. Okay, and it's going to turn a kind of a darker brown, because that's because of the cornstarch right now. Okay. So we got that gravy, we had that one, and Curtis, now here comes another favorite of mine. We're getting ready to make our next thing, because we're talking about cooking for the holidays. Now we got this rice done, and we've got the actual gravy we're making up right now. We got those burgers and stuff we're going to actually cut into strips. And so now we're going to look at our very, very next recipe. And let's look at that one. It is our sweet potato pudding. It calls for 6 large sweet potatoes, steamed and mashed, 1/2 cup of unbleached flour with the germ, 3/4 cups of raisins, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, aluminum-free, 1/2 cup of soy milk, 5 cups of light coconut milk, 1 cup of fructose, 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 tablespoon of soy margarine melted. Now, Curtis, this is another one. Now, there's a couple things that people like for the holidays. Number one is they like candied yams. Okay?
That's right.
You gotta have some candy. You gotta have sweet potatoes no matter what. You gotta have some
form of sweet potatoes.
Okay, so you got sweet potato souffle. That sometimes they'll have like a mashed sweet potato and they'll put the marshmallows on top. They'll do candied yams.
Sweet potato pie.
Pies or whatever. This one is a sweet potato pudding, and I love it because of the fact that it's different, it's unique, and believe it or not, I actually got this kind of a combination from a book that's got Jamaican recipes in it. Okay. And I think sometimes
we'll have a Jamaican flavor in this.
A Jamaican flair to it, you know, something a little bit different. Like I said, everybody's used to candy yams or sweet potato souffle, but because it's the holiday, they will not be expecting this one. All right.
Okay.
It is absolutely delicious.
Just
matter
absolutely.
Of fact, I think some time ago, Angie and John was on a program with us. We did a whole thing on Jamaican cooking.
Jamaican cuisine.
And we made this one up. And Angie had a fit. Okay, so this one's for Angie.
I think John had 2 helpings too.
You might have.
Yeah, I think so.
Now it actually asks for you to mash the sweet potatoes up as you get started, and then with this, I'm going to add to it. We have the unbleached flour with the germ. I'm going to pour in, and also we have the baking powder, and this is with no aluminum. All right, so those are the first 2.
Now let me talk about this unbleached flour with the germ, because we got some emails on that. People are looking for, where did you find unbleached flour with the germ?
Now, once again,
if you cannot find that, what can you do?
Yes, I always tell people that if you cannot find it, you know, what's happening is, you know, with the unbleached flour, they've actually extracted the germ, the wheat germ from it. So now we're going to add the wheat germ back to it. So what does that mean? It means just some wheat germ. So I always say for like 1 cup of the actual unbleached flour, you're going to add anywhere between 1 and 2 tablespoons of wheat germ, stir it up, and then therefore you have unbleached flour with the germ. But guess what? Because there's a lot of products coming out, because people are getting more and more health conscious. So a lot of your grocery stores are bringing those in. So look for them in the store as well. Just look for them, okay?
It's more nutritious, of course.
Absolutely.
With the germ, the vitamins, B vitamins, so.
And it actually gives substance also to the sweet potato, because it's a pudding, and it's soft. You know, it's something totally different from, like I said, the other sweet potatoes that people are usually used to.
Can you get unbleached flour with the germ in the regular grocery store?
Yes, you can get it in the regular grocery store, but if you cannot, you know, then you're going to do the flour and then add the germ to it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to turn this on and just get this started right now. We're going to mash this in. This is the flour and also the baking powder, aluminum free. Okay. All right. Enough to get that going there. Now, we're going to start putting in now all the different things. The last thing, we're not going to do our raisins until the very end, because we don't want to put the raisins in and then use the hand mixer to mash the raisins up. We want them to stay whole.
Bad idea.
So I'm going to start. Once again, you can take, and we're going to add one thing at a time. Just go ahead and start. We're going to start off with the coconut, and then we're going to move into the soy milk. So we're going to do coconut.
Okay. And you just
bring it in.
Okay, just the coconut right here, right?
And then we're going to do the soy milk. Go ahead and pour that in. So this is the coconut milk. Oh, this makes it really good. Okay. I'm going to get that spatula and get all the goodies out.
Oh.
Spatula.
All the goodies out the coconut?
Goodies out the coconut. Just There you go.
Okay.
All right, we got that coconut, and you can buy light coconut milk. You don't have to buy the one that's, because the fat content might be too high. And then we're going to go ahead and put the soy milk in.
Soy milk.
And before I do anything
Now
else,
let
let's
me
go
ask
ahead
you
on
this
in.
question: can almond milk work?
Now, I was going to say,
Or
for individuals to say that they cannot do soy milk, you can use almond milk, you can use rice milk. The main thing is, you know, your coconut is really what's the major key ingredient in this one. So almond milk, rice milk, they can be a combination, or soy milk, okay, as far as that goes as well. But what we're not going to be doing is whole milk, skim milk, 2% milk, 1% milk. Just use
this is
the other one.
cholesterol-free.
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving with the Eakins.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So we're going to stir this around. Yummy. Now, I'm
Okay.
going to start putting in then. I'm going to have you go ahead and start putting the other things in. Now, we got the milk, and we also have the coconut. Don't you smell like coconut? It smells so good. It smells so good. Okay, you're going to start adding in the other ones. Now we got the melted
Does it really
margarine.
matter what order?
Nope, the
Okay.
melted margarine.
Melted
We've got
margarine,
the vanilla.
vanilla,
We got a little bit of salt, and then we
salt,
have the nutmeg as well.
nutmeg,
Okay,
okay.
so let's go ahead and put them in slowly. Use your spatula. Here you go. The last thing is going to be our fructose. And fructose, fruit sugar. Okay, people ask me all the time, is that the same thing as high fructose corn syrup? No, no, it's not the same. When you talk about the fructose, it's called fruit sugar. It actually comes from the fruit itself, okay? It's a combination of the fruit and also a little bit of honey as well, but it is not high fructose, which we're asking everybody to stay away from high fructose corn syrup.
Not to say.
So,
Now, again, where can you, because I'm assuming
regular
some
grocery
people
store,
may be
once
watching
again,
for the first
everything,
time.
once
So
again, if you
regular
do not
grocery
have it
store.
at your regular major grocery store, ask the manager to bring it in. All your stores now basically have these sections where they're now having natural food markets,
Health
and they're looking
sections,
for
yeah.
people to tell them what they need. So say something to them if you don't see it. Now, if you don't find the fructose, there's also now in a lot of your stores, Florida crystals.
Crystals, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and pour that in for me.
Uh-oh. Well, I almost dropped that one.
Get that spatula. Here you go. Use this one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All the goodies, all the goodies. All right. Let's go scrape one more last time, get everything in there. You know.
Now, you mentioned about the Florida crystals, and of course, we have the fructose in this one. Each one has their own texture as far as the end result. I mean, when would you
Yes,
use
yeah.
the Florida crystals as opposed to the fructose?
Now, for this particular recipe, they can actually use either Florida crystals or they can use the fructose. I'm just
Okay.
saying either one of those two. You want to use either one of those two. If you can't find the Florida crystals, then you want to use fructose. If you can't find that one, you find the other one. The main thing is these are all natural sugars and they're better for us to use,
But
okay?
doesn't the Florida crystal give you a harder...
Not for this
sub-
recipe, not for this one.
Like for a cookie or something
Yeah,
like
if
that?
you're doing a cookie or something like that, yes, but not when you're doing
Not
this
for this
particular one
one,
here. No,
okay.
because it's actually got a lot of liquid here, so no matter what sugar you use, it's going to blend in well with the
Okay.
actual ingredient, okay? This is the very last time, and then we're going to go ahead and put our raisins in. Okay. I'm going to have you go ahead and stir those in, Curtis, for us.
Okay. Do I need to stir in,
Just go
fold
ahead, no,
in,
just
or
go ahead,
just...
just pour them in there.
Okay.
Okay. And we're just going to take and mix them in.
Oh, okay.
And I do it that way because I don't really want those raisins to get broken down while we're doing this as well. And now, believe it or not, we have our dish we're going to be using. And I like to go ahead on and spray my dish itself a little bit.
Just a regular...
This is a pie. Oh, this is regular spray. I'm just using regular cooking spray. That's
Okay.
all. And then we're just going to take this And we're going to put it in here.
Let me hold it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice and creamy. Now this goes into the oven.
This is going to go in the oven, and the temperature on it is 350 degrees, and it goes for about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There you go. I love this dish. It is so good. And people are, once again, we talking about something special for the holidays. Okay, and here we go. Okay.
Very good.
All right. This will bake up, and I'm telling you right now, viewing audience, it's going to be good. Wait till
Somebody
you see this
good.
at the end. You wait till you see this at the end of the show itself, all right? Well, now we're going to go to our next recipe. And you know, I mean, you got to have something green, right? For the holidays, you got to have something green, but guess what? How about some southern collard greens? It calls for 2 pounds of collard greens cleaned and sliced, 4 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, or 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/2 cup of onions chopped, 1 garlic clove minced, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast flakes, 1 small green pepper seeded and cubed, 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke, 1/2 cup of soy bacon bits, sea salt to taste. I'm gonna tell you, this is a good one.
Okay.
And the reason it's a good one is because, first of all, you know, you always got to eat your green stuff. You got to have some greenery, okay?
Dark leafy green veggies.
Now, we usually have a big salad.
Right.
And so, and I've done salads quite a bit. So, you know, I mean, just make your favorite salad up, and you want to make it very, very decorative, and use things like for Thanksgiving, you want to use red peppers and a yellow pepper and an orange pepper as a part of it, because that just makes it look more festive for Thanksgiving. Now, this one here is our southern collard greens, and you know,
Now,
this
what
is,
was southern now as opposed to northern, eastern, or
there
western?
is no, it's just actually called southern
Oh,
collard greens. Everybody knows when you say southern collard greens, that means we always say you put your foot in it. You know what I'm saying? It's just really, it's really, really good. You know, it's got all those things. We got things, think about it. We're using things like mock bacon bits to simulate that of bacon. Okay, that's always in southern collard greens, all right?
Now,
We're
you got that
using,
liquid smoke. Now people may not be familiar with that term, liquid smoke.
believe it or not, right there in the regular grocery store. It is in the regular grocery store.
What
liquid
is it? I
smoke.
mean-
It's just a liquid smoke. It's just an
Okay.
actual
Just a
flavoring
good
that goes
flavoring.
into. It's a flavoring, because you want something that's got that kind of a flavor that matches up with that of a bacon or ham or oxtails or whatever people actually use. And I see our pot is really moving, ready to go. So I'm going to actually move that over to the side. And you know, it is 100% ready. Okay, let's go ahead on and put
And the
in.
bacon bits, you can get that at regular grocery store as well.
Yes, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and put in the onion powder.
Onion
all right?
powder.
Let's go ahead and do this again here. And why don't you come on and bring me that garlic powder? We're going to put these in. I like to get them started.
Okay.
But just putting those in my water right away, okay? And then we're going to put in the olive oil. All that's going to go in first. Not that, not yet.
Oh, this, okay.
Okay. Now that kind of calmed it down a little bit, because guess what? Now we have 2 pounds of the collard greens, and what we're going to do, and they're already cut and they're already washed.
Cut and
We're
washed.
going to actually put them in the pot. Here we go. Now you're going to say, that's sure a lot of collard greens. I know that's what you're saying.
They're going to probably cook down,
But they're
aren't
going
they?
to cook
Yeah.
all the way down,
Okay.
all the way down. We're going to just stuff them in there, stuff them in there. And, you know, we have a lot of other things over there we're going to be using. So why don't you go ahead on and start getting that bell pepper and that onion
I need
cut up for me.
give me a knife,
I'll give you a
honey.
knife. Hold on one
Okay.
minute here. Here
You didn't get all the goodies.
Here you go.
Okay. You want the bell peppers cubed?
In cubed. Yes,
Cubed?
in
Okay.
cubes, okay. Now, we start off by just putting that in, putting in the greens, and we're going to make sure, once again, we're just going to go ahead and cut this down a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay. Now, I'm going to put on top of this my garlic. This is minced garlic. Love to have minced garlic. Got to have those in the greens, okay? And I don't even do the onions, and I don't do, well, I can do the onions. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do the onions, and we'll do the bell peppers a little bit later on.
Now, why the bell peppers later? I mean,
Cause just for the flavor. I like to put that in a little bit later on. And then I'm going to go ahead on and...
cube more, a little bit more than this, honey?
No, that's fine. Go ahead and put
Okay.
that on top of your bell peppers, on top of the greens there.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And I kind of start them off by putting them on top. Just everything on top. Okay. All right. And then real quickly, I'm going to just go ahead and cut up the onions.
These, now, were these pre-washed, but you washed them again? I mean, when they say pre-washed, should you
You can do them already in a bag, or you can do fresh,
Okay.
fresh collard greens from scratch, okay? Let's look around, you know, right now, because of the holidays, once again, they're out on the market, so you can do either one, okay? I'm going to put this on top, like that.
Okay.
This is where you talk about that southern going in, and I'm going to put the lid on top of it. And I'm going to tell you what, I let this cook, and what's going to happen, it's going to cook down. And we've got other things we're going to be adding to it. And I would start talking about that soy bagel bits, which Curtis just brought forward. And they're on the market also, or they call it imitation bagel bits, which is made from soy. It's not really any animal product at all in it, okay? So look for that in your regular grocery store. Liquid Smoke is over there where you have your soy sauces and your different kind of brown gravy sauces. They're all over there. You'll find your Liquid Smoke. And it kind of gives that hickory kind of a flavor. And I like to use that hickory flavor because we're trying to get assimilation of what people are used to. You know, they're used to like having bacon in there, oxtails, all those go into the southern collard greens. But people have said to me, girl, I cannot make collard greens that's going to taste good if I don't have these things in it. And I say, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So you believe it when this is really a good recipe. It's a quick and easy one, full of iron, lots of vitamins, vitamin C. You've got also vitamin A. All that's a part of these greens. A very good one for us. And also,
And you don't have the cholesterol, the saturated fat.
no cholesterol whatsoever, believe it or not, okay? And then we also have nutritional yeast. And don't get this mixed up with regular yeast that you use to make bread, because somebody asked me that question one time, all right? Nutritional yeast is just a fine, thin flake. You know, I always say almost like the manna that they use in the Bible, or they talk about God gave them manna from heaven. And somebody said it was like little itty bitty fine flakes that they had, okay? So the nutritional yeast, full of the B complexes. All the B's are in the nutritional yeast, and it also gives flavor to the greens as well. And so we've got all that, but we're not going to put it in yet because we got to get this cooked down, and when it cooks down, we begin to add the last parts of the seasoning to it. So we're going to set that over to the side because we're going to go then to our very next recipe, which is a favorite, all right?
Dessert time.
Chiffon pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh, that sounds
good.
good,
For
honey.
1 container of Better Than Cream Cheese, plain, or 1 container of New tofu, extra firm, 1 15-ounce can of canned pumpkin, 2 packages of the New vanilla mate pudding mix, 3 tablespoons of fructose, or 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs, and 1/2 cup of soy margarine.
Okay.
Okay, now Curtis,
Chiffon pumpkin cheesecake.
let me tell you something about the cheesecake.
Well, tell me something
Now,
about the cheesecake.
when it comes to cheesecakes, you got to really know what you're doing.
Well, that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? Because I'm from Philadelphia, and one of my favorite cheesecakes is the New York cheesecake.
All right.
And so, you know, for a long time, I've been playing around with this, trying to get the cheesecake together, and a lot of them went in file 13. And then finally,
That's a trash can.
That's a trash can. And then finally, I discovered some ways of actually putting the cheesecakes together that really work very, very well. And for Thanksgiving, we're actually making a pumpkin cheesecake because pumpkins are out there right now, and it's a real good one to add for the end of the group of recipes we're doing for the holidays.
And
Okay?
you've done a lot of cheesecake in your cookbook.
Yes.
You have like what, different types of
I have carob cheesecakes,
key lime
cheesecakes, and pumpkin cheesecakes, and regular cheesecakes. And so you name it, I do a lot of different ones. Some of them are baked, and this one, believe it or not, you ready for this? It is a no-bake, no-bake cheesecake. All right, so you're not even going to bake it. Don't even worry about turning your oven on for this one. All right, but you do have to turn it on if you want to actually get the crumbs. Because remember, I said we have 2 cups of the graham cracker crumbs, and we also have that melted margarine. So I actually, get that together, and I pat it down. So that's already ready to go.
This is the springform.
I'm using a springform pan because that's what they really use for cheesecakes. All right, and it's going to be what they'll see at the end of the program as well. Now let's get started on this one because we've got some ingredients once again that might be things that people are not used to. Number one is we're going to go ahead and put in the extra firm tofu. And this is silken tofu extra firm, all right?
Okay. Now they need to
Put the
get
whole thing
the
in.
right one.
Yeah, that's
This
silken.
is silken.
That's silken.
Okay, extra firm going
Yes.
in.
All righty.
All right.
Okay, and 1 pack is enough we're going to need. And then we're going to be using a better than cream cheese. And this is not real cream cheese. This is actually a cream cheese base that looks like and acts like cream cheese, but it is not, okay? Once again,
A cholesterol-free,
cholesterol free.
but without sacrificing taste.
There you go.
There you go.
And I usually like to go ahead on
Put the
and,
container in there? Oh, okay.
not the container in there, but I like to make sure that it's a little bit soft before I start
okay.
trying to use it, because if you don't, it's harder to get it
Okay.
out the container there. So it's there, it's there, it's there. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna put that lid on. We're gonna first of all get this one here. Let me just get those last goodies. We're gonna actually put those together because we wanna make that, match that up. All right. Stop it. And for this one, you're actually going to just keep on. Remember, regular cream cheese has at least 2 to 3 containers of Philadelphia cream cheese. So you have to have some kind of a cheesy, kind of a cream cheese base for this, okay? So go ahead and spin it again. Now this time, what I'm going to do is we're going to start adding
It's
in.
nice and smooth now.
It's smooth. It's getting smoother and smoother. And don't get worried. It will actually smooth out on you as you continue putting the other ingredients in. What we're going to do is I'm going to turn it back on again. And when I turn it on this time, we're going to slowly begin to add in some of the other ingredients. Okay. Before I even put in the vanilla pudding mix, we're going to go ahead on and start putting in things like the fructose. We're going to go ahead and put in the pumpkin. Now that's because it's a pumpkin cheesecake. You know you got to have the pumpkin in there. You know you can have the fresh pumpkin or you can actually use the canned pumpkin mix, whichever is best. Because it's Thanksgiving, you probably can find the regular pumpkins all around you, all right?
Which would you prefer? I mean, as far as quality, taste, texture?
Either one. It just depends. If I do the regular pumpkin, I'm going to have to spoon it out of the pumpkin itself, and I'm going to have to cook it and get the seeds all out and all that kind of stuff. So either way. But let's do this, Curtis. Let's go ahead on and add in right now. Let's go ahead on and put in the 2 cups of the pumpkin mix itself. Let's go ahead and put that in and let all that mix together. It's going to be a lot easier to do that. Okay? And pumpkin is full of iron. It's a very good food. You want to push it around the side so it's not sitting on the middle of this piece here.
Okay.
Okay. Now I know you said, remember now we also got those greens going on, and I'm going to check them while he's doing that and see what's happening to our greens, our southern collard greens. They look good.
Collard
They
greens.
look good.
They're smelling good, baby.
At this point, as you see, and I always say if you need a little water, we don't need to add any extra water to it. I'm going to now begin to add in the other seasoning. This is my nutritional yeast. I'm going to put in my liquid smoke.
Liquid smoke.
I'm going to put in my bagel bits. And I'm going to put in my salt. All right? We're going to just stir that in. This gives the greens a nice flavor. And while I'm doing that, Curtis, why don't you go ahead on and start that spinning there.
It's turning colors.
Turning that orange color, yes.
Yes, it is. Let's spin it one more time, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's just get
Now you mentioned about the pudding mix too. A Mori New pudding mix.
Mori New pudding mix is on the market also.
The regular
at your
grocery store?
Or your health food store. Okay. And believe it or not, I've actually seen out there now too, there are other people, other companies that are actually making the different pudding mixes. So you want to look around and see what's out there. Look on the label, read that label, and make sure that it's not full of sugar and high fructose corn syrup and all that kind of stuff. But they're out there. Once again, because it's the holidays, you want to go out early looking for all the things you want for your ingredients so that you don't wait till the last minute and then you can't find anything.
Okay,
go ahead and
good.
put the sugar. We're going to put the fructose in.
Okay, fructose going in.
And you're going to go ahead and put in the other seasonings as well. Try to keep from putting it in the middle of this. I'm going to put that in there. This is that fructose, or we can use the Florida crystals as well.
Okay.
A little bit of salt we're going to put in. And then we got all the seasoning, which is the ginger and
Just the
allspice, all
ginger,
those different
allspice
ones.
together, right?
Everything is in there together.
Now, what is this, honey?
Hold on 1 minute. That's the pudding mix.
Oh, that's the pudding mix.
All right. All righty. See how nice and
Okay,
creamy
now
it
it's
is?
becoming
Now,
to look like a
even
pudding.
at this point, you still have to put in your pudding mixes because the pudding mix is what makes it a lot thicker. So I'm going to slowly put that back on one more time, and then we're going to slowly add in, we got the Morinu. Once again, just for time's sake, we got the Morinu mixes. We're going to go ahead on and I'm going to turn it on, and then we're going to slowly pour that in, okay? Let's go ahead on and do this, Curtis, because this is a full one. Let's go ahead on and put this in first.
Okay, what is that?
This is the rest of the pudding mix.
Oh, okay.
It takes 2 packages.
Oh, 2 packages, okay.
All right, here we go. And I
Now
would
that
like to do
pudding
one
mix,
at a
it gives a
time.
nice, thicker
See, you can
consistency.
see the difference, see the
Yes.
texture, see how it's changing?
Yes.
Okay, because remember now, we're not cooking it. And so since we're not cooking it, we have to have some type of a thickening agent to go in there. All right, I'm going to turn it on again. This time you're going to pour slowly the actual
Inside there.
All righty, and you can see the difference. You can see the difference already,
Now, once you pour that in, you chill it for?
I always say, I like to make this up ahead of time, Curtis. I know I got company coming in, and so I actually make these cheesecakes early. In other words, I might do the cheesecakes a day or so before the actual event itself, okay? Because the longer it sits and the colder it gets, the more firm it becomes, all right? And so with that in mind, you don't want to make it the same day you're actually going to be serving it because it'd be more like a pudding than it would be a cheesecake,
Okay.
all right?
Now, let me say this. I have a few more minutes. This is pumpkin. Now, you can do key lime. It'd be just replace the key lime with the pumpkin.
No, okay, no, it's totally different.
It's
I mean,
totally
because if you're doing key lime, then you're going to be using the juice of the lime.
That's right, okay.
If you're going to do any kind of ingredient you're going to be using, like in our cookbooks, we actually tell you how much of the different things to make them change over. If you want a different kind of pineapple type, or you want a plain vanilla one, or you want a carrot one, or you want the pumpkin one, or you want a sweet potato one, each one has their particular amount of ingredient that goes in to make the particular one you want. So, and then they all have their different toppings to go with that as well.
That's
like
true,
for this,
yeah.
I might do like a maple syrup over top of a glaze I might put on top of it. You can use a carob on top of it as well before you serve it. You can make an actual pudding mix up with orange juice in it, and you can pour it over the cheesecake just as you're ready to serve it up. But it's the holidays, Thanksgiving, so you want to be pretty different from what you do on a normal day. This is our last
festive.
time spinning it around.
Okay.
Let's go one more time. All righty. Now, I usually just take, and I'm gonna get a smaller one that I can deal with here. A little bit one there, smaller than that one. And this lifts up. I put my finger in the middle to hold
In the
that
middle.
piece.
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna start putting the cheesecake into the pan. You wanna get all the goodies out, all the goodies out.
Has a nice, good consistency
And
now. Yeah.
A good color for, when you think about Thanksgiving, you think about the earth tone colors,
Yes, you do.
So,
You can save some in the
smells
bowl. I can just lick the
good.
bowl.
okay, we'll save some in the bowl for you.
No, maybe I just want some of the pudding when it's finished. I think that would be better.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Lots of iron, vitamin A, vitamin C, all this, once again, all these foods, earth tone foods that we're doing for Thanksgiving, all the foods that actually come from the earth, beautiful, delicious, good for us,
The way God created them.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's just do this last little part there,
Okay.
because now we're going to just take and move it around. inside the pan.
Now that graham cracker crust, just graham crackers, and then you get the already crumbs.
You can buy already crumbs, already.
Or you can get it and then put it in
crumbs,
food processor and crumb them up.
There you go.
Either way.
Either one.
Okay.
Either one. Okay. We want to make sure it goes all around your edges. And you'll see at the end of the program, once again, you will see that how you can unleash the cheesecake itself before you're ready to serve it up. Now, I will say this.
Okay.
Sometimes when I'm making these cheesecakes, let's say you don't have a lot of time, and you make the cheesecakes up, you can always just put them in the freezer for a few minutes before you actually get ready to cut it, and it'll cut a lot easier as well. All right? So that's going to go in the refrigerator, not in the oven, in the refrigerator. And we say at least 5 hours, but we always say do it a couple days before you actually have your actual activity itself.
People watching these recipes and say, oh, maybe they have some cookbooks. And we do. You have about well, 2 cookbooks and working on a 3rd one. And
a supplemental pack.
Supplemental pack, so we're doing cookbooks. So again, let's go to this row about the cookbooks that will entice you to learn more about vegetarian cooking.
If you would like to contact the Eakins to find out more about their ministry, or if you'd like to invite Curtis and Paula to present their seminars in your area, then you can contact them at Abundant Living, Post Office Box 2873, Huntsville, Alabama 35804. That's Abundant Living, Post Office Box 2873, Huntsville, Alabama 35804. You can call 256-859-1982. That's 256-859-1982. You may also order their products or get their recipes online at abundantlivingtv.org. That's abundantlivingtv.org.
Hello, I'm Carrie Christian, and I'm happy to tell you that 3ABN will be carrying the GYC Youth Conference beginning January 1st. These young people are on fire for the Lord. Just listen to their message.
My life is incredibly insignificant. I'm a tiny person on a small planet in a very large universe. My life is short. My money, education, and accomplishments are temporary. I can easily be replaced. My employer could find another person to do my job. Let's face it, even my cat can survive without me. But God can't. See, I know this because he stepped down from his throne and made earth his home. Rejected and despised, he bore my selfishness, murders, and lies, carrying them to the grave, making me the receiver of divine grace. Now I see my worth through the eyes of the universe. There's something bigger at play here, bigger than men. Scripture claims that the created accuse the creator, and the universe is merely its spectator. You and me, our lives are center stage in this story. We are the drama. We, the receivers of divine grace and the life-changing spirit, we who have been baptized by fire and water, stand and live before men and angels. See, creation waits to see if in our testimony, the righteousness of God will be vindicated. So I refuse to be ruled by materialism, by circumstance, or in search of the accolades of men. No self-seeking is allowed to dictate my actions. For I'm willing to be made a fool for Christ's sake, because I realize that I live on a stage set before men and angels. And my purpose is to glorify God. To glorify God. See, let me break it down for you. My life is meant to vindicate the character of the Creator before men and angels. My life is incredibly significant.
We hope you'll join us for GYC coverage beginning January 1st. And if the Holy Spirit impresses you to support this ministry, please send your tax-deductible gifts to 3ABN, Post Office Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois 62896. Thank you, and may God richly bless
Well, we have
Okay.
accomplished that
Teamwork.
Thanksgiving with the Eakins, you
With
know.
the Eakins, all
and,
right.
you know, when people come over, they're surprised because they know we're not going to have turkey and stuff. So here we go. You know, something is
And
beautiful,
this is satisfying,
attractive, yes.
appealing to the eyes.
Appealing to
we
the
eat
eyes.
with our eyes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so we started off with a holiday wild rice. And as you notice, that wild rice, it has the grooves in it coming out the mold. And so
Yes.
therefore, it actually can serve anywhere from 12 to 15 people from just the rice itself.
And
all
the
right?
pepper steak right in the
Pepper
middle.
steak in the middle, and then we have some on the side for those who want it separately, okay?
Oh, okay, that's right.
And then
all
we
right.
turn around and did also, along with that, our sweet potato pudding. Oh, I'm telling you, it's absolutely
With
delicious.
the plump raisins just seeping through.
Yes,
All right.
and then we had that southern collard greens, okay?
The
And
bagel bits and everything.
bagel
is-
bits, everything's in it, delicious. And we ended our program with that chiffon pumpkin
Cheesecake.
All
Have
right.
mercy. All
and
right.
so all the foods, all the things, because we're just so thankful, we're just so
Yes.
grateful around this time frame. This is the time when the harvest is right, everything
Mm-hmm.
is good, and we love having people over. I say to you, invite your friends over. You don't have to worry about it, or if you're going somewhere, take one of these dishes with you to their home,
Mm-hmm.
all right? That's what I always say. If you take it with you, pray with them, especially somebody that's really going through a lot of changes.
I know in our
you
neighborhood, when we walk around in that neighborhood, there's a lot of people there who are widows, who live alone. A lot of times we go during the holiday season,
Yes.
take a gift to them, and so they're very grateful for that as well.
And some food, and some food, and some food.
All right, and then we pray with them, go inside
Yes.
and sit with them and talk with them as well. So can we sample some of this? We got a few moments.
Oh, we have a few moments
yeah,
there,
so,
huh?
huh?
Well, I know one thing that you really like, and that is that pepper steak,
Yeah,
because
pepper
it's got a
steak,
real
so-
nice flavor to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take out one of those pieces
Nice,
there.
yes, okay.
This is a
Okay, while you talk, just put it in my mouth.
Well,
while
let me
you
go-
talk.
let me go first.
Okay, you're supposed to be. I thought you were feeding me first. Okay, well,
oh my goodness.
well, I think we need to go ahead and close. All right. But John 10:10, Jesus said, "We come that they might have life and have it more abundantly." See you next time.